The following production is part of the Play Some Video Games podcast network.
I say it's time we focus on what really matters. The games.
PlayStation.
Finally, the GOAT has come back to PSVG in the PlayStation Experience podcast. I am Seth, and I am welcomed today by Justin Credible. I've used that one before. How you doing, Justin?
I'm doing good, Seth. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm feeling good. This is I haven't done this in the evening for a long time. I haven't done this at all for a long time. But
that's true. We've been absent for a while. Yeah.
For about a month. So, and this is the PlayStation Experience podcast, and we are joined tonight by. I was trying to come up with a great name. I guess Psychocross. That could be a pretty good wrestler name, actually. Psychocross Kyle.
It could be a good wrestler name. That's not where it comes from, but that could be an excellent wrestler name.
Does it come from motorcycling?
No, it does not. When I was a far younger, far fitter man, I actually did a lot of bicycle racing, and I did cyclocross racing, and I took out the L because I thought it sounded cooler, and that's where my name came from.
Cool. What would your finishing move be in the wrestling ring?
Oh, man. So here's the problem. I don't watch wrestling.
Okay.
So I only watch.
You've seen a little bit of wrestling.
Well, right, but here's the thing, though. I do watch a lot of MMA, so I probably would have to pick some like weird Brazilian jiu-jitsu move. Probably will go with the Peruvian necktie. I think that's the move I'd go with.
Okay. I don't know exactly what that is. The Undertaker for a while was using some MMA hold, like a jiu-jitsu hold, where he'd like put his leg up under a guy's throat and pull his arm through, and it was like a triangle choke kind of thing.
Okay.
For a little bit as his alternate thing. Anyway, that's completely off topic. My finisher would be the super kick and or the ankle lock. So anyway, welcome to the PlayStation Experience podcast. May 2nd, 2018. We are, 2 or 3 weeks away from the Electronics Entertainment Expo, and we're going to talk about the Sony E3 presentation today. Before we get into that, we are going to talk about our personal favorite games of the year that we've played so far. We're basically halfway through 2018 so far, and then we'll get into the big topic of the week. So I guess starting off with the favorite games discussion, Kyle, what has been your favorite game or one of your favorite games of the year that you've played?
Well, I mean, I feel like I know where most people are going to go with favorite game. So I will pick a different one for now, and if we never get to it, I will mention it at the end. I'm actually going to go with Moss, the PSVR game from the folks over at Polyarc. Came out in February. I was really looking forward to this game when it got announced last E3. One of those rare PlayStation titles to be announced and come out before the next E3, which was pretty exciting. So, yeah, I really enjoyed playing Moss, my time with Quill, just how good that game is and how good of a job it does with really showcasing what VR can do, and how, most VR games are like, oh, it's cool because your head is the camera. That's not the case in this game. That, everything, it's much more of a third-person game that you're playing in VR, and it's just phenomenal. Quill's a great character. The story is interesting. It's beautiful. So, PSVR especially doesn't quite have the graphical prowess of some of those other VR machines out there, but it really does an excellent job of immersing you in the world, making you feel connected to what's going on in the story, and it's really some excellent puzzle solving. They do a really good job of incorporating how they do these puzzles with VR, and I think if you have a PSVR, it is an absolute must play. So yeah, Moss has definitely been one of my favorite gaming experiences so far this year.
Cool. That's one. Is it, having played it in VR, is it an experience that could translate to non-VR and still be a good experience? I mean, it looks like since you're kind of controlling, since it's not in that first-person view, would it translate to a traditional experience?
I mean, I think it could, but I don't think it would. I think that it would be not as good of a game if it did, because what
it was designed for PSVR.
100%, because basically when you walk into when you come into an area, it's a diorama, and then you're literally like standing up and like turning around and moving your head around to see all around this diorama as to how you need to solve this puzzle. So like theoretically, yeah, you could do that, kind of like, you know, the Hitman Go games and things are done where you're just spinning the thing to see, but it doesn't. I think that would take away a lot of the immersion of how you feel, because while you're in there, especially the sense of scale, because while you're in there, you're down and you're seeing Quill as their little self, and then sometimes there's like full-size deer in the background, and like all of that stuff I think would go away, and it would just, could it work in non-VR? I mean, sure. I just think it would definitely detract from the experience, and I don't think it'd be as good of a game.
Cool. And Justin, your game of the year, first half 2018.
I feel like this is gonna be a cliche, and probably what Kyle was thinking about as well. But I'm gonna go ahead and say it. God of War. I have been playing. I have not beaten it yet, but it is like a, I don't know. It's just the best in its category as far as I'm, third person action game. Yes, it's maybe a little bit too violent here and there or whatever, but I'm loving the story, and it keeps doing. I don't know if it's, there's a lot of hype about the one camera move the entire game, and maybe that's what's like keeping me engaged. But anytime I play this game, I don't want to stop. And that's probably because there's no cuts, there's no stops, there's no, you play a JRPG and there's always at some point in the story just a big black screen that says, "Do you want to save now?" There's nothing like that. This game keeps me wanting to play more. I want to do all the side missions. I just started getting into all that stuff, so it's definitely quickly become my game of the year, and I would be surprised if anything kind of changed that.
Cool. So you say there's no camera cuts. Basically, it's like a full thing. So what you're saying is God of War is the This Is America of video games?
Yes.
The music video there.
Yep. Mega. Yep.
All right. I'm sure it makes the same kind of statements too.
Yes.
So my favorite game of the year so far, I haven't played God of War and don't know that I will. I haven't played Far Cry 5, which I feel like are two of the big games really come out this part of the year so far. My favorite game of the year has been Celeste. It came out, I think, in February. 2D side-scrolling, tough as nails platformer. And I honestly forget what the name of the main character is, but Celeste is the mountain, and you play this and I just had a lot of fun with it. The music is awesome. The artwork is great. I actually played it on the Nintendo Switch, but of course it's on. I think it's on all three consoles. So I know it's on PlayStation for sure. But it has been of new games I played this year, the one stand out for me. Did both of you play that, or either of you play that one?
Well, here's the interesting thing. I wrote down 3 games to talk about for my game of the year. They were God of War, Moss, and Celeste.
All right.
So we have got them all covered. And yes, I think Celeste is great. It is an exceptional game. I also played it on Switch. I didn't play it on a PlayStation. And I kind of wanted to throw my Joy-Cons through the wall. But other than that, I thought the game was spectacular. And that's not because I thought the game was bad. I just think the Joy-Cons were not quite as accurate as I wanted them to be.
I will say yes. The Joy-Cons caused me some strife in that game, and actually, that is the game that really soured me on the Nintendo Switch controllers. I just going from that to my Scuff PS4 controller, it's a world of difference, and I still play the Switch a little bit if they ever come out with a game that I'm interested in. But the controller on a PlayStation, and I'm sure on Xbox, is just worlds better than what's on Nintendo Switch.
Yeah. And then God of War 2, I mean, is spectacular. I have finished it. I'm working on the Platinum right now.
Okay.
But great game. I think obviously everything Justin said is 100% accurate. And since we talked about, a one-shot game and a one-shot music video, if you want to watch an excellent one-shot film, the 2015 film Victoria, amazing.
Okay.
It's a long film. It's over 2 hours, but it's all done in one shot.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. It's good stuff.
I was trying to think there was some other movie that kind of famously did that. And there have been a number of music videos.
Well, I know Birdman appeared as one shot, but actually wasn't.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's one. That was like the one because when it got all the Oscar noms, people were like, "Oh, it's so amazing." It actually wasn't a one shot, but it appeared to be one shot.
The movie Rope with James Stewart. It's directed by Alfred Hitchcock.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That is what I was thinking of.
Gotcha. So a little
as far
bit older.
as like a classic. Oh yeah, classic. Classic example. So anyway, we are hitting on a whole. You have anything else to add? Did you play Celeste, Justin?
I didn't play Celeste.
Okay.
That's in my list of shame. I wasn't
no reason to be ashamed, but it is if you like that kind of game, and are after a difficult experice. I
do not.
That is rewarding.
I want everything to be easy and free in life, Seth. So that's my stance on life.
Okay, cool. All right. As we shift into covering E3 and getting into our predictions, like the other shows have done, we're each going to name 2 things that we think are definitely going to happen at the show, 2 things that we hope or wish might happen that might be a little bit less likely, and 2 things that we think absolutely will not happen at the show. Before we get into that, I wanted to patch in a frequent guest of the show, somebody who's been on the PlayStation Experience podcast nearly every single episode we've done thus far, all 11 prior episodes. This is number 12, and that is Kevin Butler. So I wanted to patch Kevin Butler in. Is Kevin Butler available?
Yes, it is I, Kevin Butler.
How's it going, Kevin?
Great. PlayStation sales are up this year.
They are doing quite well. Congratulations.
Did you know that we are the best console in the entire galaxy?
Of course.
Forbes made a list, and we are at the top every single month. Did you hear me? Forbes, the world-renowned publication.
I think sometimes Forbes can be kind of fake news. I don't know what you think about that, but nonsense. Okay.
You must be talking to my my great second cousin, old Donald.
Old Donald. Okay.
I know he has those comments, but not I. I believe everything.
So we're a couple weeks out from E3. What is your excitement level at heading into this E3?
Well, Seth, I couldn't be more excited. We have so many announcements this year. We're going to be announcing PS5 games and PS6 games and PSVR 2 games. Do you think those other consoles have that many announcements? I don't think so.
Okay, thank you for
all the games. Don't cut me off, Seth. We have all the games.
All right. I'm going to thank you very much for stopping by, Kevin. We are always appreciative of up at our show. Bid you adieu, and
Seth, that was really strange.
It was.
I'm surprised. Good on you though to pull in some real talent like Mr. Butler.
Yeah,
he does seem a little out of sorts. Kind of sounded like he wasn't really prepared for this call, but I couldn't be sure.
Well, I kind of think he kind of wings it all the time. Anyway,
yeah, that's a good possibility. You never know with that guy. So well, I do have one more. We're gonna get into our predictions.
Yeah,
but and we've all the other shows have laid out the same format, but we're gonna be keeping track of our predictions here at PSXP, and I'm curious what you and Kyle think would be a fair ranking system for these three categories. So we have our definite selections, our maybe selections, and ain't gonna happen selections. So I'm curious where you guys would put the most weight in for those predictions. I think we should put the most points towards definite selections or the ain't gonna happen predictions, because if those happen, then who knows what.
Sorry for the I'm being distracted by Donnie right now. He is chatting up a storm on the YouTubes, and none of us are paying attention. He's saying he looks like a sad panda, and is saying Bueller a few times. I don't get.
There's a reason we didn't invite him on the show.
Hello, Donnie. It is 10 p.m. my time. I don't know if Atlanta is Eastern time or Central time. Actually,
Atlanta's actually in a black hole. They don't have.
So I don't know what time it is for Donnie, but I know that he's been up since like 4 a.m. Donnie, go to sleep. Play Nintendo Mario Golf or something. Leave us alone. Anyway, for the point scoring of this,
so we're gonna do our point scoring
of this thing. So I don't know.
Here's what I'm proposing. I'm proposing
marriage.
Well, always, Seth. I mean, we've already gone over this many times. Usually we keep it private. You keep turning me down, but it keeps coming up. Anyways, let's go with 3 points if you nail 100% a definite prediction.
Okay.
We're gonna go with 4 points for a maybe, and we're gonna go with 5 points for not gonna happen.
Okay.
How's that sound?
So wait, 5 points if the not gonna happen doesn't happen?
No, not if 5 points of the not gonna happen happens.
Well, because my not gonna happens are probably not gonna happen. Like that's the.
So it should be like 50 points. Is that what you're saying?
No, I mean, like I said, hey, this is not going to happen.
So how about? I have a suggestion. How about if I say like, there's not going to be a Nintendo Switch game at the PlayStation one. If that doesn't happen, I get a point. However, if I say, hey, there's no Nintendo Switch games that are going to be announced at the PlayStation event, and it does happen, then I lose points.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because like,
yep.
The not going to happen is like you could say whatever you wanted.
That's true. That's very true. All right, we'll go with a single point for those ones. because you're right. They're pretty easy to nail those ones.
I made mine a little risky, but I think they could be easy to make. Very easy.
All right, we're gonna go with a single point on those ones. All right, I just want to, I don't want to, gloat too much when I win this prediction game if you guys don't understand the rules. So, and our audience should of course know the rules, and they're more than welcome to play along if they want to pause for a second and make their own predictions.
Yeah. All right. So first, before we get into the predictions, because we already know some of the things that are for sure going to be there and not going to be there, and these things are not going to be part of our predictions, or at least the broad strokes of them. What we do know, Sony announced a couple weeks ago that they are focusing on 4 main first-party titles: Death Stranding from Kojima, Ghost of Tsushima from Sucker Punch, Spider-Man from Insomniac Games, and The Last of Us Part 2 from Naughty Dog, as well as third-party and indie announcements as well. Sony also said they would not be talking about anything related to hardware, and has even mentioned, actually today it just came out, that said they're in the last phase of the PS4 generation. Who knows what that means? That could mean it's the last phase will last 3 more years or 2 more years or whatever, but we do announced or talked about really at this E3. So that is what we know heading into it. And now I guess we'll get to our definite predictions here. Why don't we start off with Justin this time, since he's rigging the game?
Did you? Yeah. I'll kick us off with a strong prediction. I think this is absolutely going to happen, and I'm going big. This is actually kind of a bold prediction. I think Sony is going to publish a game or games exclusively on PlayStation Plus. So what I mean by that is kind of akin to the Xbox Game Pass. Sony is going to put games exclusively for out there. So your PlayStation Plus downloads, well, that game is exclusively now for PlayStation Plus members, and there's no other way to buy that game traditionally.
So you're saying they're going to do it on Plus, not on PlayStation Now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, like, are you saying like a game like, and not saying it's going to be Spider-Man, but Spider-Man gets released physically and then also only on PlayStation Plus, or it's like a smaller game that's just on PlayStation Plus?
I'm thinking a indie game, something that's online based, a fighter of some kind, or something like that.
Are you predicting PlayStation All-Stars is coming back and it's only going to be available on PlayStation Plus?
Yes.
Well,
not for the record, for the prediction's sake, but yes, that would be great. No, I think with PlayStation Plus losing PS3 and PS Vita games, I feel like they're preparing for something to add more cost benefit to PlayStation Plus, and I'm wondering if that's games. I'm sure they looked at Game Pass and are a little bit concerned about it, because it seems everyone wants that recurring monthly, income. So maybe this also comes with an additional tier to PlayStation Plus. I'm not sure, but either way, I think it's going to be part of the PlayStation Plus program, exclusive, some sort of indie exclusive.
All right. Kyle, your first prediction, your first definite.
So, when PlayStation came out, it was like, hey, here are the first party games that we're going to talk about, and this is what we're focusing on our big show. That actually threw a monkey wrench into a few of my predictions. So we talked about this beforehand. If this happens at all during E3, this counts, right? So if it's in the pre-show, it's okay if they do a pre-show, right?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Whether it's a pre-show or the main event.
So then what I'm going to say is that Concrete Genie gets a release date for later this year and a gameplay demo showing what you do other than just paint.
All right.
That's fair. I think it's a pretty good prediction, actually. I mean, that was revealed last year. It's an indie game. They're, usually they have a shorter, dev cycle. They do need to show what else you do besides just walk around and, do the infamous, street tagging motion. So, yeah, good one.
Yeah, I'm interested in that one, and I definitely think, I think we'll hear more about that. I'm not sure. I really don't know what the purpose of them putting out the 4 games ahead of time, that they're definitely going to talk about that. I guess to set expectations, and then I don't know. They might still do other stuff. I don't know. I guess that's what we're talking about here and predicting. But it was kind of I'm not sure what to think about them announcing they're doing, if they're really only doing these 4 games or if they're going to do other stuff too.
Well, and that's what was like hard about this prediction, because like Pixel Opus is technically a first party studio. Like they're based in the PlayStation headquarters. Yeah. So I was like, they're technically first party, but I don't think anybody associates them with, your Naughty Dogs and everyone else. So yeah, that's why I wasn't certain how likely this was. When they're like, yeah, we're going to focus on 4 first party studios. And I was like, well, shoot, we're going to go for it anyway.
Yeah. All right. My number 1 prediction is that Destiny 2 will have a reveal of sorts for whatever their fall expansion is going to be on the Sony stage. So whatever the fall, Destiny 2's Taken King, whatever that's going to be, that's releasing this fall, will be revealed on the Sony stage. So that is my definite prediction. And then I guess we will go back. I guess there's not much to talk about there. That's just.
Well, is PlayStation still doing? Is Sony still doing exclusive content with Destiny?
Yeah, they had, and I don't keep super track of it just because I just play the game, but I'm pretty sure they launched with an exclusive Strike.
Okay.
And then they've had some other content. I mean, stuff that just has come to PlayStation first. So they still have a relationship.
So they still have that Call of Duty, basically, that old plan that Call of Duty used to have, where it's a multiplayer map or whatever. It'll come a month or 3 months before Xbox and or whatever. So, okay.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Yeah. So, Justin, you're number 2 definite. I feel like you're going to need to knock this one out of the park because your first one is going to be way off base. So anyway, what's your second one here?
There's an old saying, Seth. You go big or go home. That's what I'm all about. So my second prediction is not going to be outlandish because I gotta win this thing at some point. So PS4 Pro will get a price reduction announcement. I think they're going to be pushing pros. I think they announced that end of the PS4's life cycle, and I think they would like to see that life cycle end with a lot of pros getting sold. Mm-hmm. It's the 4K system. Everyone's getting 4K TVs. It pushes developers to start, developing for a 4K system or a system with more power. And I think that Sony and Xbox should be focusing on that, like pushing devs to, utilize the equipment that they want to sell in the future. So, and if we do get a PS5, I think it's gonna look like a half step from the PS4 Pro. So I think it makes sense for them to reduce the price and get those puppies out of here.
All right.
I have to ask a question quick. You really think that the next PlayStation is going to be a half step from the Pro, which would make it basically on par with the X?
Yeah, I mean, because I think Sony, I don't think Sony's going to sell a $500 system. So if you were to go more powerful than the X, you're looking at a $500 system. And I think that
not necessarily in 2 years, you're not.
No, that's true. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just skeptical, but I feel like once we've reached 4K, It's like how much yeah, Xbox One X did it. It's more powerful, but like how much farther can we go? Like I don't
4K
know.
60. Once everything is 4K 60, we're all set.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So, and I don't know if we'll hit that. I guess that would be the benchmark for the next generation of consoles, would be 4K 60. And I don't know. A lot of people I still don't think need that. There are still a lot of homes without 4K, but either way, I definitely think there's a price reduction coming on the Pro and the base system.
All right, Kyle.
This is hard because I wrote 4 predictions for each thing in case people stole them, and that hasn't happened at all. So now I got to pick what I'm going to do. Okay, I think that the Medieval remake gets gameplay in a release date.
Okay.
So yeah, there were rumors earlier that it was going to be shown at PAX East in April, and that never happened. And there was rumors about it, including Medieval 2 as well. And since neither one of those things happened, I feel like it is time to see this game. And, it's supposedly still coming out in 2018. So I think it's time to see it, find out who in the world's making it, because we don't know that yet. And, yeah, see what it looks like. So that's my prediction. Medieval remake gets gameplay and release date.
All right.
That's good. Do you think that Medieval would be the type of game that they would come out and be like, remember when we showed you Medieval? Well, it's available now. Go download it. Do you think that could be one?
I think it could be. I think it's a game that is going to speak to the hardcore audience more than anything, and that's who's going to be watching that presentation. So, and even if it's in the pre-show or whatever, I do think that is something that they could do. I don't know if that will happen, but if it did, I wouldn't be surprised.
Mm-hmm. All right. And my last, my second definite that I think will happen, Dreams just had a bunch of content, or some impressions were released. I know there's supposed to be a beta later this year, and I think that beta date will get announced as well as maybe information on how you can get into the beta, or maybe it'll be an open beta. I don't know. But the beta date will be announced. And that is the end of my prediction. I was going to say that it's going to be released this year, but the way they worded their information about the beta makes me think that the game still might not be until next spring. But the prediction, the beta for Dreams will be dated and announced officially at E3.
It doesn't have to be part of your prediction, but when do you think that date is going to be?
I think it'll be later in the fall.
So you think the beta will come late fall, which means the game maybe spring?
Yeah. I think beta anytime September to November.
Yeah.
And game February to April. Sometime in there. And I really think, the game is such a different game. It almost doesn't matter when it comes, because I think a lot of people who are the big time, I know Spider-Man, we feel like appeals to everybody, and Red Dead Redemption is going to be a huge seller, but a lot of people who are going to be interested in that kind of stuff are not going to care about Dreams. Dreams could drop the same day as Red Dead and it'd be slaughtered, but there will be a passionate group of people who are interested in it. So I almost think it doesn't matter when it comes out. But I think the beta will be September, October-ish, and then the full game February, March.
Are either of you excited for Dreams?
I'm so excited for Dreams.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm so excited for it. I know Donnie was making fun of me for it earlier today. I think it was today. Maybe it was yesterday. But
yeah.
I'm
there's a reason we didn't invite Donnie on this show. Because I'm also could not be more excited for Dreams.
Wow.
I'm a little bit worried that I'm like, I know what it is, and I have all these big plans. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna build my own game, and I'm gonna have and I'm probably gonna get it and mess around for an hour, and then realize that I don't like making games. But I just think it's incredible what they're doing.
Yeah.
So
I'm not. I don't see myself making the games. I'll mess around in it. Honestly, I have currently an 8-year-old daughter, and by the time the game comes out, she'll be 9. And I think that's something she might get into a little bit. And then I just look forward to playing whatever other people dream up. So I will play your 2 dreams, and I'll just have fun playing it. I just think it's an interesting idea, and that studio does so many interesting things. Just thinks in a different way compared to other studios, I guess. And with that is our definite things that we think will definitely happen at E3 for Sony, for PlayStation. On to some things that we wish and hope could happen, that might happen. And I honestly, my 2, I don't know how likely they are, but there are things that I would absolutely love to happen. So I'm going to start the first one here for my hope, something I've been hoping for 3 years, that EA Access finally comes to PlayStation. There's been one thing as a PlayStation owner and not an Xbox owner that has made me, that Xbox absolutely is blowing PlayStation out of the water, and it's the services of the subscription services like EA Access, Game Pass, those 2 things. And I mean, I would gladly pay $30 a year to have access to the entire Electronic Arts catalog, even without the backwards compatible stuff. And as the other half of that prediction, I think that not only is the existing EA Access coming to PlayStation, I think that EA is going to expand EA Access to include new games day and date. I think it'll be for like a premium service. Maybe I mean, you could go up to $100 a year and you get Madden, NBA Live, FIFA, Battlefield, Titanfall, whatever, all of the Electronic Arts games day and date if you subscribe to EA Access, plus their back library. I mean, that would be absolutely worth $80, $100 a year easily. So I think the time has come. I think EA Access is coming to PlayStation.
So a quick question building off that. Obviously, it was announced, I think, just today that EA has acquired GameFly's cloud streaming service.
Yeah.
What impact do you think that, if anything, will have on EA Access?
I'm hoping none. As of now, is that service is only offered on PCs. It's not offered on consoles.
I believe so, yeah.
So I'm thinking that's more of a PC centric thing, and of course, if they have the technology and can do this cloud streaming, I really hope the EA Access program stays the way it currently is, where you download the games and so on. But I don't think it'll be a cloud gaming service moving forward. I think PlayStation Now has clearly, versus Xbox Game Pass, which is on a game availability standpoint, PlayStation Now blows Xbox Game Pass out of the water. But just the idea of it and being able to download your game and not have to worry about dropping signals and things like that, people are much higher on Game Pass than they are on the PS Now cloud service. So I think it'd be a mistake for EA Access to throw their eggs in that basket. So, what is one of your wishes, Kyle?
All right. I'm going to go a little wild on these. I have 2 kind of safe ones and 2 kind of wilder ones. We're going to do the wilder ones. So PlayStation recently said that they want to focus on franchising successful IPs and refreshing existing IPs. That was part of the whole, hey, we've entered the last life cycle of the last stage of the PS4. Things are going to wrap up by probably March 2021. So I predict Ready at Dawn is going to reveal that they have been working on either The Order 1887, or a new Jak and Daxter game with an attempt to build off the hype from Crash and Spyro.
Okay. Why do you think them on Jak and Daxter?
They have a lot of previous Naughty Dog talent there at that studio. So who knows? Maybe that's. I feel like you could say Sly Cooper too. I think that would potentially be a thing. But I just, from what I've read in the past, which may no longer be accurate, that was a few years ago. It seems like there's a decent number of Naughty Dog talent at that studio, so there might be a heartfelt tie to that series.
Okay, I'd love to see, not necessarily Order 1887, but them to take another crack at either that universe or another game, narrative game like that. I think my biggest issue, the Order was fine. It just is paced really weird.
It was weird pacing, for sure.
And the story wasn't super compelling. The setup and the environment and everything was compelling, but the actual playing through things, to me, wasn't as compelling.
I agree. I love that world. I really like that world, and I want something else there. And I think they were so close. Like, they clearly have the tech. Like, that game today even is still beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, they clearly have the tech of making great environments. Now, hopefully, with some time, they can focus on the storytelling and put a really cool story together and in that same world. So that's my hope, but we'll see what happens.
Are we going to call this game The Order 1887?
That's just, I don't know, for lack, just to say I could say it's something in the Order universe if you wanted to. That's just the easy sequel name. I don't know what it's going to be called. I just want something in the Order universe.
All right. Justin, what do you wish, your wildest wishes and dreams?
Well, this is a a game where this is a competition, so I wouldn't say this is my wildest dreams, because everyone knows my wildest dream would be Final Fantasy VII. All episodes are available today. That's my wildest dream, but I'm not gonna predict that. So I'm gonna go a little bit crazy with this first one. We already talked about Dreams a little bit, and I think Dreams is gonna be free on PlayStation Plus.
Huh.
I think, and I don't think I'm that crazy to think that, because it is such a weird. It's not a game per se. It's such a weird product, and I think that they might be thinking they can make a lot more money if they put it out free and have a lot of expansion packs for content to create with.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a bad move, but I don't know. I think that's something that they could do, or maybe just have like expansion packs or something that costs money.
Why would you make expansion packs though, when the people could literally make anything? Like, the user can literally make anything.
Well, that's what we've seen them pull up the development tools, and there's all this stuff. That's their internal stuff. And that would be a bad look if they all of a sudden you buy the game and you don't see it.
That's what they say is shipping. Like, that's what was at the Judges Week preview. Is like, here's all the things. Like, here's 400 characters that are already made. Here's my
other idea for how they can make money is a marketplace. I am like, maybe if they didn't close it off, but they gave people an avenue to actually sell it. If it's as powerful as they say it is, as far as game creation or just a tool creation, if it's that powerful, then why not give people a marketplace and let them sell stuff on it? I don't think that's necessarily a great idea. It didn't work out it kind of works for Steam, kind of doesn't with mods and stuff, but that would be my other idea for how to make either way. I just feel like at this point they're just like, whatever, just get it out, give them for free, let them see how awesome it is, and we'll figure out how to make money off it later.
I do think, I don't know how you monetize it, but the idea of that game launching free on Plus, makes sense.
It could be it could be free for 3 months, let's say, something like that. Nab it up in the very beginning. Because what if it does come out? No matter what, like you said, Seth, it's going to come out near some other bigger game. Whether it's this fall or spring, there's probably going to be something else that looks more, looks a little bit better to the average consumer.
But it'll come out. It'll come out in spring, and Red Dead will have been delayed to spring anyway. So
yeah, and let's say they give it away for free for that first month. That forces people to at least click the button to download it.
Yeah.
And then maybe they start playing it.
All right. So I will go with my number 2 hope or wish. So Gran Turismo Sport got me into racing games over the last year, and I've been playing them. I haven't touched GT Sport for a little bit. I've been playing Formula One again. But anyway, Gran Turismo Sport, and they're still adding cars and tracks, and they're supporting the heck out of that game. It's been a great they launched kind of poorly, and they've really rebounded, and it's a complete game. It's a good game. We know they're working on a Gran Turismo 7 or something like that, but I think or hope that they might launch a Forza Horizon like game with Gran Turismo, a slightly more arcadey game using the Gran Turismo brand and everything. Obviously, I'd say I know the main Forza series is popular on Xbox, but I think Forza Horizon might even be more popular and be more of a broad appeal. And I think PlayStation could really use the Gran Turismo brand and have a more arcade racer. And I would absolutely be in on that. Forza Horizon 3 and I'm sure Forza Horizon 4, that's one of the small handful of Xbox games that I wish I could play, that I would want an Xbox for. So if something like that came to PlayStation, I'd be all on board. So that's my number 2 wish.
Now Sport was really just another Gran Turismo game, right? It was not.
Yeah, the main, and I don't know that I've ever played a Gran Turismo game before Sport, but I think in the past Gran Turismo games, you go through the different cups and you have the Sunday Cup, and it has 4 races, and you go through and you try to win each race, and it's a heavy emphasis on single player, and you mod your cars and you upgrade your cars. Where Gran Turismo Sport, it's all, they have single player and they've added a lot of single player stuff to it. But the main focus is online racing. You race, you get into the game, and you do a number of races, you start getting ranked. And then now, I go in and I have a certain ranking, and I'm placed in races that are people around my ranking. I'm not very good.
Yeah.
But I have competitive races because I'm not just put in there in a random lobby against the best players and the worst players. I'm just in the lobby with all the worst players. So I think it's a Gran Turismo game. It's a simulation
racing game,
console racing game.
Yeah. Okay.
But I think more of a simulation arcade console game with, again, like a Forza Horizon.
I think that's what people were hoping for when they first announced Sport.
It was called GT Sport, yeah.
Yeah, because it had a different name to it. It kind of sounded, it sounded similar, but
right.
It turns out it wasn't.
It
was. So yeah, all
right, and Kyle, your number 2 wish.
So my number 2 wish is actually what I'm going to dust off from last year, that I predicted would happen last year and didn't. So maybe this is the year. That, yes, Remedy, the folks behind Alan Wake and Quantum Break, revealed their new game on the PlayStation stage. So 505 Games has already said that Remedy, who's publishing Remedy's next game, they've already said it's going to be at E3. We already know it's going to be on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Remedy. So I feel like this is the time where they're going to reveal that game on a PlayStation stage, and there's going to be some sort of exclusive PlayStation content.
All right. I never played one of their games, but always thought Alan Wake looked interesting.
Alan Wake was great. It was so good.
All right. Justin.
Oh, see, I got the craziest of predictions, which I'm almost certain won't happen. Maybe it belongs and it ain't gonna happen. So
I believe if we rewind the tape about 10 minutes, you say go big or go home.
That's true.
So if you don't go big right now, you may as well just take
go
off
home.
your headphones
and
go home.
Go home. All right. All right. PS Vita 2. It's gonna be announced.
That's not happening. Goodbye.
Are you saying I put this in the wrong section? Yeah, I don't know. They have to be thinking about some sort of success for the PS Vita because of the success of the Switch. That's it. I'm certain they weren't thinking about Vita 2 at all, but the Switch is doing really well, and Sony probably knows they can make a more powerful Switch, and make it look, cooler and make the adult version of the Switch, basically. Which the Switch is pretty adult, actually. They got pretty adult games on there, but that's my crazy might happen.
I'm going to throw you a bone, Justin. Sean Layden already said they're not going to talk about hardware at the C3 at all. There's nothing to talk about for hardware. So do you want to change your prediction? Or are you saying he's a liar?
You know what? Seth already said I can't back down now.
Okay.
It's like I have to lay the losing hand out. Knowing...
To be fair, when I said that, I didn't realize that you, I don't know.
We're gonna make a harder prediction.
I don't know, man.
You
didn't
think you underestimated my craziness, Seth. I'm a crazy.
I'm not even saying that some sort of handheld thing is a terrible idea. The one thing I remember, and I really liked the Vita. It was a great system that ultimately didn't end up getting traction for whatever reason. And I think part of that reason is that it was a system. Sony and PlayStation changed from the time they launched the PlayStation 3 until the time they launched the PlayStation 4. They sort of maybe a pompous company that thought anybody would buy anything and you'd get a second job to buy your PlayStation 3, to a company that clearly focused on developing first-party games and focused on gamers, and gamers want to play games and everything. And kind of in the middle of those two things.
Are you saying that it's a little bit boastful or pompous to make your own handheld system and put a proprietary memory card in it that costs way too much?
Well,
I couldn't possibly say that stuff.
Not even. I guess I wasn't. Yeah. So I think like the memory card thing is part of the PS3 Sony way of thinking, where
and the super high res screen and back touch. I think you're definitely on the right track. It was a different product.
So I think it was kind of caught between the two generations, where it's a system and they have a lot of great games and it's a great gamers system, and really the PS3 was too, of course. Where I think right now it might even be, and the Vita was built so that it took advantage of the PS3 a little bit, and then took advantage of the PS4 a little bit, and didn't really connect with either one 100%. Where I almost think it'd be better to tie the PS Vita 2, if that's ever coming, into the PS5 a little bit more, a little closer, rather than having it to have to straddle these two console generations. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe don't put it in between 2 console generations, stick with the next generation, and people can buy a PS5 and a PlayStation Portable or Vita 2 or whatever it is. So,
and also they're done with portables because that's the thing they're throwing their weight behind.
Well, you both made me deeply regret that prediction. So.
No. Hey, if it happens, then
you will look so prophetic if it actually happens.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Well, if it happens, I'm giving myself 50 points and I win. So that's all.
Okay.
To it.
I'm totally fine with that. Yeah, that's cool. Because I love Vita too, so that's totally fine.
So going on to the 2 things that definitely are not going to happen, which I almost feel like the 3 of us may have come at this question from some different angles, which is all right. So I want to hear from Kyle first about something that is absolutely not going to be happening at PlayStation's E3 conference.
So I want to clarify. Am I supposed to say, here's a prediction, and this prediction is definitely not going to happen?
So
you get what I'm saying?
Mine are things that I'm saying will not happen for sure. And I guess if they happen, then I'm wrong.
Okay. Gotcha. All right.
So, but they're also not things like you said, the Nintendo Switch is not going to be on the PlayStation. Well, duh.
Okay. So my prediction of what's not going to happen is, beyond Spider-Man, we're not going to get any other release information for the other big 3 games that Sony is showing.
Okay.
So Uncharted 2.
I think that's a risky one.
That's fine. That's fine, because if it happens, I'll be super excited. But I think Last of Us 2, Death Stranding, and Ghost of Tsushima, I don't think we're going to get any release information that we don't already know, which I don't think any of them have been dated in any way, shape, or form.
No.
But I've got my first one of these is actually just that Death Stranding will not have any release information announced. So I definitely don't think, and I think that's the same. I don't know. I see Ghost of
like the 2019 window.
2020, yeah. I could see that happening for one of those 2 games. I think Death Stranding is, I don't know, 2 years away still.
I don't know.
But they're focusing a lot on them, so I don't know. That's what's confusing.
That is bizarre.
I think come out. Like I said, I think it's risky, but it's also a way for me to keep my expectations in check. Because I'll be really happy if I'm wrong. But I don't think we're going to get any release information for those 3 games.
All right. And like I said, my first one was along the same way Death Stranding's window announced. I think one of the other 2 could, but Death Stranding will not. Are you frozen?
Did you not? Did you call me?
Yes, I called on you, and then
there was nothing there.
Okay.
So anyway, now that Justin is back in the land of the living, what is the one thing that's absolutely not going to happen at PlayStation, Sony?
Final Fantasy VII Episode 1 will get a release date, and it will be early 2019.
So you're saying that is going to happen?
No, he's saying that will not happen.
I will say that's not going to happen.
Okay, yeah.
But I will gladly lose a point if it does happen. So,
makes sense.
But no, I don't think that's going to be announced. I think they're going to put a time thing on it, but it's definitely not going to be spring 2019. So, or early 2019.
Does I forget. Square is having their own thing, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I know we did an episode. PSVG had one of those. So, Okay. Number 2 ain't gonna happen. Kyle.
I'm worried that I might overlap with you again, so I'm going to pick a different one than what I was going to.
I don't think you will. Do whatever you're doing.
Okay. Red Dead Redemption 2 is not going to be anywhere on the PlayStation stage.
Yeah. That is not on. You're absolutely right. I think it will not be at E3.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Just because they don't.
Again, if it happens, great. But like, there's a lot of people thinking that we're going to see gameplay there, and I'm like, I don't think that's happening at all.
No, they don't do that. They don't need to be part of E3. They'll drop gameplay trailer whenever they want to drop it. That's a good one. So my other ain't gonna happen. PlayStation Now will not be mentioned during the E3 event.
That's actually really similar to what my other one was that I didn't do.
What was your other one?
My other one is that they're not going to talk at all about services, name changes. Like it'll only be games that they talk about. They will not talk about services.
That makes sense. Yeah. I think PlayStation Now will not be. And I thought about the service, that kind of idea, as they're quote unquote coming to the end of the PS4 life cycle, that they're not going to focus on services as much. Except I didn't want to say that because I want EA access to come. So, so other than that, but yeah, I think PlayStation Now will not be mentioned during the event. It is not that it's a dead service, but it doesn't have a place at E3. So, Justin, your final prediction that's not going to happen.
I don't think I think From Software is not going to be on Sony's stage or any of their E3 stuff.
Do you think they're going to be there in general?
You know.
You don't think they're going to show up like a Microsoft stage?
No, I definitely don't think that. No. I don't think they're going to really have a presence at E3. I think they're going to wait for... I think they're making a PlayStation exclusive that's either Bloodborne 2 or Tenchu, but I don't think we're going to hear about it until the PlayStation event later this year.
Okay.
I hope it's Tenchu, but...
Oh, Tenchu is so good.
Yes, I agree.
All right. With that, we are all done with our predictions. This... If half of these things happened, I think if we hit on 50% of these things, that I'd be surprised.
I'm really surprised none of us took the Devil May Cry 5 prediction.
That game's just not on my radar.
Yeah, it just seems like the one of those common ones you see out there. I thought for sure someone would take it.
All right. And with that, we are going to ride into the sunset and end this episode of the PlayStation Experience podcast. We should be back. Hopefully, the three of us will be back following E3 to kind of recap PlayStation's E3 conference and kind of see how we did here. But really just talk about all the things that we currently don't know about that they're going to talk about there that we're going to be excited for, hopefully. And with that, Kyle, what are you talking about on Board with Video Games this week?
So this week on Board with Video Games, we were talking about the game King of Tokyo is currently having a monster design contest. So we pitch our own monsters for King of Tokyo, and we discuss the Blackout King of the Hill Battle Royale mode that's coming to COD Black Ops 4, and we pitch what games we think should have their own Battle Royale modes.
All right.
So you'll have to listen to Board with Video Games.
I'm gonna throw one in the hat for that, just off the wall, since we're a PlayStation podcast. God of War Battle Royale. The gods of Olympus and the gods of Norse Olympus mythology What is? Oh, I guess it'd be Asgard, right? Is that where
yeah.
in Norse mythology? I don't know. So you pick your Zeus, and there are 100 Zeuses and Achilles and Ares and Kratai, and you fight on Mount Olympus or in Asgard, and that's your God of War
Battle
Royale mode. So,
All right.
that is not I can't imagine that actually happening.
I actually do have I think I have a good one.
Okay.
I think Twisted Metal Battle Royale. I think that would actually be. I bet you someone out there is developing that. Actually, that should have been one of my predictions.
Twisted Metal Battle Royale.
Love another Twisted Metal game. I'd be in on that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would.
A good Twisted Metal 2 like game.
Yeah, let's go old school. Actually, we're gonna have to throw this podcast out because honestly, we should just develop this thing and just make millions.
Okay.
I'm sure millions, right?
We'll have to wait till Dreams comes out, and we'll make it in Dreams.
Oh, that's such a good idea. Now we have to cut this whole thing out. That's what I'm totally do.
We could probably hire David Jaffe. I think he is looking for a job.
Yeah, maybe.
And we might have to have him on board for it anyway. So, Justin, you're not on board with video games or any other podcast. How can people connect with you?
I am on Twitter at Justin Pickard, and you can reach out to me, follow me, see my dog, and that's all I tweet about. So that's where you can find me, and of course our Discord channel.
Yes,
I think we should always pimp that a little bit.
Forgot to promote the Board with Video Games variety of social media platforms at Board with VG on Twitter, and similar things on Instagram and Facebook, and it's BOARD with video games. So that is found on all of those places. You can interact with the PlayStation Experience podcast at PSXP podcast on Twitter, and I'm at Seth Joseph Roy. If you're at all interested in, I don't know, terrible sports teams, stuff I'm eating, my kids, and my cat. So that's about what's on my personal Twitter profile. So anyway, with that, we're going to call it a night. I was trying to think of what The Rock's sign out catchphrase was, but I couldn't. I don't know that he has one.
Can you smell what The Rock is cooking? Is that it?
Oh, that's a good one. Sayonara.